After this amount of time it faded and kind of just faded to nothing over the course of a few seconds. Extremely strange and very close, but I did not perceive any interaction. It was like an observer's experience only. I was left sitting there rather bemused with my camera right on my lap, which I didn't use for some reason. And I immediately fell asleep and woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning, fairly good night's sleep, and my partner arrives in the formation and tells me that they have seen effectively the same thing which I saw, but they saw it from their vantage point 200 meters behind me and elevated probably 100 feet. You know, they saw the same thing, what appeared to be the same thing. They come into the field, into the circle, and then they lost it, and as they lost it, I got it. And it tied together very well. You know, it seemed to, it provided, you know, for me, independent confirmation, because I did wake up thinking, wow, was that a dream or something? But it was pretty much confirmed, and it was extremely close enough to be absolutely certain that that was something extremely strange in there with me. And you know, it wasn't anything that I've ever seen before that close.
From this height, Oliver's Castle, one of the most often debated observations, was made early one morning in 1996. A young man spending the night here with his video camera was in the early dawn suddenly aware of something strange unfolding down in the field.
Here I'm standing at Oliver's Castle at precisely the same spot as John Ecay was standing in August 1996, when he supposedly, for the first time in history, managed to film the creation of a crop circle.
That the crop circle was not here the previous day but had appeared the following morning was a fact. That John Ecay was here at dawn could be confirmed by a military patrol jogging by at that time. John returned to the local pub later that same day and played this remarkable footage from his camera. Even so, many believe that he had managed to manipulate the film with computer animation during this short time span, something that computer animation experts doubt. To overlay a perfect animation over a handheld, unstable film would need several days of computer work using the equipment of that time. Today, the film is still a great mystery. Although confessions now have been made by people claiming to be responsible for it as a hoax, others believe the hoax theory is to be organized debunking, due to the fact that this remarkable footage would have dangerous effect on the public if declared real. Anyway, the repeatedly seen and filmed balls of light are indeed difficult to explain as birds, flying plastic bags, computer animation, or whatever. So are they signs of life existing parallel to ours, but in another dimension? And are they responsible for all the genuine crop circles? Speculation continues to grow in size the more one studies the phenomenon.
I personally am convinced that the vast majority of crop formations are not made by people. They're made by some unexplained agency, whether it be extraterrestrial or interdimensional or from the Earth or whatever. With regard to the lights, there have been so many instances where the lights have been seen either before crop formations appear or over crop formations, that again I think there's a connection between the lights and the crop circles, certainly.
Again, I'm in a fresh and newly appeared crop circle, and I must admit the feeling is quite stunning. It's easy to see why people are attracted by this, but what I don't understand is why the media don't seem to be attracted at all.
They don't like questions which can't easily be answered. So the media have only really liked this when we get to the question of hoaxing and of people making it, Doug and Dave and all that,
Yeah.
which is a nice, neat thing. You know, it wraps it up in a parcel. We can put it away. That's solved and finished. Now let's get back to the football. You know, and so really the media don't want to do this one. Even people like the BBC don't want to do this one because it's a big question and it concerns the future of civilization.
We believe that the formations are tangible evidence, aren't they, that that we're not alone. And our government and other governments has for years been trying to tell us that we are alone, and ridiculing all the people who've seen craft and had experiences. And I think they're frightened to death of the fact that here we have fantastic evidence, and they're doing their best to tell us that they're all hoaxes. Even the newspapers in this country seem to be in on it. You know, it amazes me that reporters, journalists, have under their noses, you know, one of the most fantastic stories ever, and yet they completely dismiss it out of hand. It's as if they're frightened to get involved.
The very interesting crop circle phenomenon. Now, I'm going to turn over the helm of the show to Mary Angel and John Ecay, who'll be coming up here after the next video. They're going to take you through to the end of the show, and they'll be taking your calls and discussing some very interesting material. So you don't want to miss that. Right now, before I leave you, I'm going to turn you on to some excellent advice from some doctors concerning what's become known as medical cannabis. We don't say the other word anymore because that sounds like you're a hippie and you just want to get... Well, we're talking about medicine and health now. Okay. I'm John Deecken, and I'll see you next week.
At an unexcelled wonder plant, herbal medicine that has no comparison.
Cannabis is found in every major materia medica that has ever been written. It was included in the United States Pharmacopoeia from 1854 until 1941. The founder of modern medicine is a physician named Sir William Osler, who was prominent around the turn of the 19th to the 20th century. He wrote the first textbook of internal medicine, and in that textbook he said that cannabis was the most effective medication for the treatment of migraine headaches. The first modern research that was done on cannabis was done in 1949 that demonstrated its usefulness in treating epilepsy. I have a number of people who don't have epilepsy when they use cannabis regularly.
Cannabis is remarkably well suited to our anatomy and physiology, even in the event one smokes it.
Marijuana was widely used in the 19th century for the treatment of asthma. And in the 1970s, we found that marijuana has a bronchodilator effect. It's because of the THC in marijuana. What is the evidence that marijuana smoking, habitual marijuana smoking, can lead to lung cancer? With respect to the development of lung cancer, we found no evidence of any increased risk of lung cancer occurrence in association with marijuana smoking alone. The THC actually has an anti-tumoral effect. And these are studies that were done both in experimental animals and in cell culture systems, and for different kinds of cancer. For lung cancer, breast cancer, thyroid cancer, prostate cancer, gliomas, brain cancer, that the development and growth, or the growth actually of the tumor is suppressed by THC, and metastases are also suppressed.
There was a study done on AIDS patients by Dr. Donald Abrams of UCSF to specifically determine whether or not the use of cannabis had an adverse effect on AIDS patients. And rather than finding that it had an adverse effect, he found that it had a favorable effect and that it counteracted AIDS wasting syndrome. Cannabis is useful in relieving people's pain. People are able to decrease the amount of opiates that they're taking, and in some instances to stop taking opiates entirely for pain control.
Antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, smooth muscle relaxant. It's also an antispasmodic.
It's particularly effective in relieving pain from connective tissue disorders, from arthritis, from fibromyalgia, from systemic lupus, from reflex sympathetic dystrophy, a whole host of conditions that we don't really understand very well. People seem to get a good relief from cannabis.
From a medical viewpoint, cannabis has no overdose potential.
It's helpful in dealing with the anxiety of people that have Alzheimer's disease. It's helpful in dealing with the muscle spasms that are associated with Parkinson's disease.
Cannabis has an unexcelled record in terms of providing safe and effective sleep.
We did a little study of people with Crohn's disease and found that many of them were able to stop using steroids and stop using other medications that they had taken for their Crohn's, that they had less diarrhea, they had less abdominal pain. It was a true miracle for them.
Here you have a substance that makes you feel better, has no overdose potential, returns you to your cognitive level of functioning.
We've got 15,000 studies that have been done, both basic science and clinical studies, that have demonstrated over and over again the medicinal value of cannabis. I think there's a very bright future for medical cannabis in this country.
Hey, welcome back, and thanks to John for the first half of the show. And in case you didn't recognize her, there's a lot less of her these days, but Mary Angel is back in town, and she's here to guest host the show tonight. So I'd like to welcome Mary Angel back to Soundview.
Thank
and
you.
I'm sure a lot of our viewers who are familiar with you have a lot of questions to ask. So they can call in later on with your questions. But you tell me, first of all, what have you been up to lately?
Okay, well, the main thing, most important thing is my 50-pound weight loss, which thanks to a thing called HCG. It's a very popular diet right now. You go on the internet. Unfortunately, there's a lot of misinformation about it, and I can't stand it. People are going on these shows. It's been on Dr. Oz. It's been on Oprah. It's been on Good Morning America. And some people are saying a lot of things that aren't true about it. And, you know, weight's a big thing for health issues, for a lot of different reasons. And a lot of people are going through these operations, which I'm not damning them, but they're surgery. And there's always risks with surgeries. And I think it's interesting, at the very moment that HCG was really getting out there, suddenly for lap band surgeries, the prerequisite, and I can't even say it, as far as the obesity level, they've lowered it. So you don't have to be a certain level anymore. They've lowered it so more surgeons can go and perform these surgeries for lap band surgery. And the thing is, they're very risky. I mean, people can die from it, you know, and everything. And they say, oh, well, you know, it's this terrible thing. When you're on the diet, you are only on a 500 calorie a day diet during P2, they call it, phase 2. But you're taking this hormone that's suppressing your appetite, and it's burning stored fat.
Right.
So it's not taking your muscle away. It's not attacking it. So what I also like about it is when you're on the 500 calories, you have like 24/7 support. You can go on YouTube, you can go on Facebook, and you can actually get support. There are some great sites out there, some great vloggers, and you're not just looking at a before and an after picture. You're looking at people who are actually on this diet and who are actually losing weight, and you can see them losing weight. I mean, I vlogged every day. You see people they'll get on the scale. You see what they're weighing. It's an amazing diet.
Now, is it tell our viewers, is it a prescription medication?
It's a hormone, growth hormone, and you can get it through your doctor, or you can actually, there are people that order it online, We have a phone call. Can you answer that for me?
Yeah,
I
would you
forgot
like
the
to take a
buttons.
phone
Yes,
call now?
I would.
All right, let's. Hello.
No, press speaker.
Oh, sorry.
Press speaker. We're going to get
Speaker.
you. Oops. Oh.
No, sorry.
Hello?
Call back.
Okay, call back. I'm sorry. I haven't been
It
here in
worked
a
last
while.
week, yeah.
So hopefully they'll call back. But this diet works very, very well, and you can take the homeopathic form. So if you don't want to take the RX, some people do order it, they get the prescription formula. I've been on both. I have to admit, the prescription formula does seem to work better. You can do injections. You can do subliminal drops under the tongue. You can do pellets, and I think they actually have a spray now, but I prefer the drops. I'm not going to inject myself. I'm chicken about that. So.
Now, the phase where you're on the low-calorie diet, did you find it challenging?
For the first couple of days, for the first 2 days, as you start taking the drops or injections, you actually have to eat all you can eat, all the fat foods you can eat, so
Really?
you load for 2 days, and then you just drop down to 500 calories.
Wow.
And usually within days, whatever weight you gain, it's gone.
Right.
Men average about 1 pound a day weight loss. Women average about a half a pound.
Wow.
But it's a very, very interesting diet, and I did it. If I can do it, anybody can do it. Let me tell you that.
Well, hopefully that caller will call back.
Yes, I hope
because
so.
I apologize for hanging up on you.
Ah.
And there we go. So speaker first,
Let there be light.
then line. Hello.
Hey.
Oh, welcome.
Hi.
Welcome to a show.
I know that voice, don't I? How you doing?
That's not what I'm seeing right now on TV, but that's fine.
What?
Anyway, y'all are talking about something else. You didn't pick up the phone while I'm talking to you right now, so it's pretty wild.
Well, you're going to have to turn the TV off because there's a 7-second.
Are you watching?
No, she's on the computer.
You're on the
Yes,
computer.
we're watching you.
Yes, it's about a 10-second delay on the computer.
Oh, okay. Okay.
She's in Tennessee, so.
Oh, okay.
Hi there.
Hi. Now, this young lady is Miss HCG Girl. That's her YouTube channel name. And because of people like her, who is knowledgeable about HCG from the get-go, who also makes these wonderful recipes, okay? Because when you're on 500 calories, you can't eat that much. And they make eating 500 calories a day enjoyable and doable. And that's what Miss HCG Girl does. And her site, if Francisco can put it up there, it's Miss HCG Girl on YouTube. She is phenomenal. Her videos are phenomenal. She is like a walking encyclopedia book on HCG and among a lot of other things too.
Oh, thank you, Mary.
You're welcome. I'm
you-
so glad you get to watch.
Can you tell us your experience with HCG?
Well, it's been a year since I've been doing this, and I have lost 90 pounds as of now.
Wow.
And I've kept it off, and I've learned how to maintain it, and I'm not finished. I still have about 20 more pounds to go, but of course everybody who sees me thinks I'm skinny mini now. But HCG, it's changed my life. It's changed the way I communicate with people. It's changed everything. I don't even desire and crave carbs the way I used to anymore, thanks to HCG. It's awesome.
So are you eating a lot of healthy type foods like vegetables and stuff?
Well, I'm eating like a very good balance now, and I know what's going to happen if I overeat. What's going to happen to me the next morning on the scale? It's taught me how to be accountable. Every day get on there. Now I'm at the point where I'm incorporating exercise, but really I didn't even have a desire to do that until I probably hit this section the past couple of months.
Yeah.
Since I hit the 90-pound weight loss.
Now, had you been on other, like the Atkins diet and all those other diets?
Never. I only did one other diet, and that was actually a Christian weight loss program called Way Down, and I had lost all the weight in 1999, like all my weight, but I had a tragedy happen 3 years later, and I just started emotionally eating again.
Yeah.
And This time, I don't even crave that stuff. I mean, honestly, HCG is like a miracle thing that's out there.
Wow.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it really is. I mean, and we've made all these wonderful connections through YouTube, and I have over almost 700 subscribers now on my
Wow.
YouTube channel. I'm getting paid for some of my videos.
Good for you.
And you know, the connection